This was a hard one to watch down the stretch with the really poor execution from the Bulls. I was watching this game with my buddies tonight for my birthday too, although my birthday is actually tomorrow, so hopefully the Bulls can make it up with a win tomorrow night against the same team. That's why I didn't have the live chat for this game, in case anyone was wondering about that, so apologies. But I'm also glad I didn't have the live chat because I probably would have been raging in the comments in those last 2 minutes of the game. Don't get me wrong, give the Raptors a ton of credit. Even without Siakam, this is a good, athletic, hungry, scrappy team that completely took advantage of all the Bulls' missteps in this one, which there were a lot, and I'll talk through some of those. Like the Raptors fully took advantage of the Bulls falling asleep when it came to cleaning the glass and boxing out their men. They destroyed the Bulls on second chance points in this game, obliterated them in the paint, not allowing the Bulls to get any easy buckets attacking the basket. For a team without Siakam and really no true center, although as I say that, the team has a ton of size with their front court depth, but I wouldn't have expected them to get all of those offensive rebounds over the Bulls. The Raptors had 23 offensive boards compared to the Bulls' 15. And this Raptors team, man, they hustle, like sloppy at times. This game was a little sloppy across the board for both teams, but it seemed like that you had so many loose balls and guys flailing on the court, but at the end of the day, the Raptors wanted it more. They got most of the 50-50 balls, and they had the majority of second chance opportunities in this one. Now, it doesn't help when the Bulls don't have Zach Lavine, which again is frustrating in and of itself. You guys know where I stand on that. I get why they're doing the left knee management. I get that this is more about the long term, preserving their long-term investment after giving this guy a 5-year max contract, but if the guy is healthy and feels fine to play, just let him play. Again, it's different if Zach doesn't feel right. If he's sore, he's experiencing pain, sure, leave him out. But that doesn't appear to be the case. They're just being cautious when it comes to playing in back-to-backs, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I've said it so many times, but when the margin of error is so slim in the Eastern Conference, when it comes to playoff seeding, every game matters. Yes, even in November. And guys should only be missing games if they are actually hurt. I don't know, I guess I'm just a bit old school, and remember watching basketball as a kid in the 90s, and you didn't have any of these load management shenanigans. If the guys felt fine, they played. That's what you get paid to do. But anyway, enough ranting about that. Yeah, overall, a disappointing game. It was a great first quarter from the Bulls where I was getting excited to see them come away with a win since the Bulls have generally had slow starts this season. But the opposite happened in this one where they fell asleep in the second quarter. And even though the Bulls closed out the third quarter to get back into the game and actually took the lead in the fourth, they laid an egg to close out the game, turning the ball over incessantly, not able to hit their shots on wide open looks. And what was disappointing most of all throughout this game was that the Raptors had executed a perfect game plan of doubling DeMar DeRozan and let the other guys just do the work on offense. And the problem was the other guys didn't do the work on offense. Guys weren't cutting to the basket when noticing DeMar was getting double teamed. Guys weren't coming over for help. And even in the times where they were getting themselves open, noticing the double, they couldn't execute on their shots. DeMar was simply unable to get shot attempts up tonight. It's not like he had a bad game. He was still 7 for 9 from the floor and 6 for 6 from the free throw line. But 9 attempts is all he could manage because the Raptors were absolutely hounding him. Now again, things likely would have been a little different had Lavine played, because then you have the luxury of another elite scorer that you can't just leave open. So hopefully that won't be the case in tomorrow's game, again, assuming Zach Lavine plays. But for the Bulls, if you're noticing this occurring, you have to adjust your offense as such and start moving the ball around, getting plays in transition, playing more random, as they kept saying in training camp. And that was the most disappointing thing for me, is that other guys just didn't step up in that way when DeRozan was being locked up. DeRozan eventually just started saying, hell with this, I'm just going to start playing more in transition so they can't double me. It worked to an extent. But look, Caruso, 1 for 11 tonight, 0 for 6 from 3. Granted, he was getting it done on other areas, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was still very active and impactful on the court, as he usually is, but man, dude needs to work on his shooting, as he has been putting up poor shooting numbers so far this season. Dosunmu shot 6 for 15, 3 for 8 from 3, was a -30 tonight. Had some pretty poor turnovers. Again, I'm not going to harp on the kid too much because he stepped up in such big ways for the team in the past when Lonzo has been out, and obviously this season as well, and it's only his second year in the league. And then Patrick Williams. You know, what I will say about Patrick, because I see so many Bulls fans going off on this guy on Twitter, he's doing what we wanted him to do, or at least for me anyway. I wanted him to actually be aggressive, actually creating his own shots, actually attacking the basket, cutting to the basket, making plays, and not just standing around and for all intents and purposes just being MIA when he was on the court. Like, you sometimes wouldn't even notice when Pat was on the court at the start of the season. I said at that time, I don't care if he makes mistakes or misses shots. I just want him to show me that he's actually impacting the game in some way and being a presence on the court and actually using his size, physique, and athleticism to his advantage, and he's doing that now. Yes, I know he's missing a lot of shots. Yes, I know he's turning the ball over at bad times. Yes, he's making rookie-level mistakes from time to time when he's a third-year player. But he's finally doing what we wanted, and now you have Bulls fans up in arms saying he's trying to do too much. Nothing is ever going to be right in the way Bulls fans critique this kid. But Pat tonight, yeah, wasn't the most efficient, 5 for 16, 3 for 6 from 3 though, scored 13 points, 7 rebounds, he's finally grabbing boards with authority, which is nice, 2 blocks and no turnovers, when the Bulls had 17 turnovers tonight as a team. Big time yikes, by the way. And it felt like 10 of those came in the final 3 minutes. Vucevic was decent tonight though, and taking some of the offensive burden away from DeMar when he was getting doubled. He just still hasn't been very consistent shooting from outside. Overall though, 8 for 13, 2 for 5 from 3, 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. For the bench tonight, what I will say, it was great to see Dalen Terry out there getting minutes with all the Bulls injuries and actually being impactful. Like the minute he got out there, right away got a strip on Anunoby, forced a turnover, and on the other end made a nice cut to the basket for a bucket, and then right on the other end drew an offensive foul. Only played 10 minutes, but a high effort 10 minutes with a lot of impact. And then Dragic, was great tonight with offense, 16 points off the bench. Javonte was solid, always puts forth a great effort. Anyway, the Bulls are right back at it tomorrow night, this time at home against the Raptors. God, this schedule is horrendous. I guess I take it back and can see why they're resting Zach now. I'll have a live chat for the game tomorrow. Feel free to join if you would like. Also, feel free to check out my NBA channel and One Hoops. Link to that is in the description. And as always, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.